What is up, Nickel City Mafia? Welcome to the Rush Hour, face of the franchise. Jake, I was just looking at that. I'm like, is that Wyoming in the background? Do you remember who was that in the background when I captured that? You have any
I think
clue?
it was Wyoming. I
Might
think
have
it
been
was. Yeah,
Wyoming.
I'll have to look again, but yeah, you might be right because I think I had Josh Allen highlights playing in the background and showed
Yeah.
college highlights.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. So cool stuff. Hey, we've got obviously the Bills get a big victory, tale of two halves. I got my guy Jake Podger here, as normal, as always. Got Buffalo Barbie Doll. She's a regular these days as well. She took a week off last week, needed a rest. I get it. When you're on this panel, you need a break from us once in a while, but we're happy to have her back. We got Super Duper Cooper, which is nobody cooler than Sean Kula, from the Red, White, and Bills. And then we got a special guest tonight, Trev, the Irish Bills Mafia. You know, Jake and I met Trev, I don't know how long ago it was, well over a year ago. He's been on our show before. We've been on his show. And he's been trying to build fan base there in Ireland for the Buffalo Bills. That's why it's called the Irish Bills Mafia. And last year he got to go to see, I went to UK, London, to see the Bills play the Jags. Unfortunately, even though he loved the experience, it was a great experience, the Bills came away with a loss that day. And it was just kind of we lost some key pieces as well during that game. So it was a horrendous game, other than being your first time, Trev. But this time, you come to Buffalo. And there we go. Show it, Jake. There's the mug. You know,
to move some stuff out of the way. I apologize for all the noise, but there it is, Trev. Got it right on my desk.
Yep.
Beautiful.
We have some
Irish
cool
Bills
things.
Mafia.
Well, you got the keychains as well. We got all kinds of cool little things from Trev.
Yep.
So, Trev, talk to us. Like, how did this go down? So you get to come to Buffalo. I remember hearing you say you don't know when you'll ever get to Buffalo, but something special must have happened. Tell us how it went down, and then talk a little bit about your experience today, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the show. Firstly, it's a pleasure, and it's great to talk to you guys. Watching you, it's always like I'm there with you, even though I'm not. But we're on different time levels, so sometimes it's hard. But it's brilliant to be here now at the minute. How it went down? Well, I went to London last year, and we were walking around the streets of London on the Saturday, myself and my wife, and we didn't know where we were going. And I had my Irish Bills Mafia hoodie on. And we walked around this corner and we bumped into this couple, Kate and Mark Schroeder is their name, and they seen the hoodie. So we started talking about the hoodie and how it was my badge and the Irish Bills Mafia and just trying to grow the Bills. And they took a picture of it, and that was it. And we went to the game, went our own way. And when we came back from London, they sent me the picture of the three of us. And it was a nice picture. And I continued on. So we'd fast forward a year, and I was at a crossroads. And my daughter said, "Daddy, why don't you join Facebook?" And I said, "No. In Ireland, in rural Ireland, where I am from, you have Gaelic football, you have hurling, you have soccer, you have rugby, but American football, it's still very low down the list." So I said, people will only be, knowing too much and judging you because you're not following the bigger trend and things. So she left it a few weeks and she said, "Join it." She said, "Go on." She said, "Don't take any heed." So I joined it anyway, and Kate, I messaged Kate that I joined it, and she came over, and she just asked me, would I ever go to Buffalo? And I says, I'd love to, but I could never afford it. I did check out the Cardinals game at the start of the year, and it was way too dear to come over. It was nearly €3,500 just for a basic package without spending a penny. So I said, no, I said I could never afford it. And she said, well, what if somebody sponsored you? And I said, I'd be great, but I said, we'll never accept it because I could never ask anybody for that kind of money. It's an awful lot. And she goes, well, we have people here that wants to sponsor you. So a group of them from the Irish Buffalo Centre and themselves and Ellicott Development and a couple other places, Maxwell's Brewery, they all sponsored me. So I couldn't believe it. I'll be honest. I was pinching myself. It was exciting, and I just said, "Well, why did you pick me?" And their family had a tragedy 9 years ago, and in that tragedy, their son died, but their son had a daughter. So when she knew me on Instagram, I was Trev because that's all I would put my name in is Trev Irish Bills Mafia. But when I put in my Facebook, you have to put in your second name. And my second name is Marley, and their granddaughter, who they are minding, first name is Marley. And when they seen it, it was a sign, and they said, "We have to get you over." So here I am.
And that's awesome. So when did you fly in?
I flew in on Thursday. Thursday evening, landed here. On Friday, we went to see the Niagara Falls and went up Maid of the Mist. That's another one that sponsored me as well. I'm very grateful. So we went up on the Maid of the Mist and went in around the Niagara Falls, and it was beautiful. Then Saturday, we went for a stadium tour, and I got a special stadium tour, I will say that. Got to see places where not many others had seen, and it was just an awesome experience. Went to see the locker room and where they changed the weight rooms, the training ground, the pitch, the whole lot. It's unbelievable. And then today was the game and the tailgate. And the two games of that before, the one in Dublin, which was a college game, and the one in London, I didn't get to the tailgates because they were away from the stadium, and I didn't know the areas. But today, it was all like one beautiful scene where it was all connecting. You walk down, met the fans into the tailgate, and just walk up the road and into the stadium. And the rest is history. And what an experience. Brilliant first quarter and a half of it, I was saying, this is London too. It wasn't looking good. But about halfway through the second quarter onwards, then things took off.
Yeah, I was thinking about you in that first half. I'm like, man, Trev must be thinking, oh my goodness, am I a jinx to the team? Should I not start going to any more games? But did you see Jake? Did you see him on social media? Like he's coming out of the tunnel with his Irish Bills Mafia flag. I thought that was so cool.
Amazing.
I mean, there's tours there, right? You can take a tour. I don't know if this was a special one where you got to go to an additional few places while you're in there, but there's a tour that they have at the stadium, right, Jake? Can you not sign up for that?
I think they have something where you can arrange one. You got to jump through a couple hoops to get it done, but you can definitely do it. But Trev, it sounds like they took you on the more in-depth one, which is really cool. And listen, it couldn't have happened to a better guy. You deserve everything that came your way. Being a Bills fan out there in Ireland too, I mean, you represent Bills Mafia brilliantly, and we appreciate the hell out of you. And I'm so happy that you're here in Buffalo, and we got to meet up at some point. Maybe tomorrow we can get some barbell wings. As my dad put in the comments here, he said he would love to join us too. Maybe we can go get some wings tomorrow. I'll see what your schedule looks like, but that'd be great.
Oh yeah, no bother. Yes, it'd be great. Surely, we're here now. We're not far away from each other, so after Tuesday we'll be a couple of thousand miles away again.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get on a show with you with Trev just because of that time zone difference. But Big Al says, I worked at the stadium for 9 years and never seen the locker room or any other place in the stadium. Good for you, Trev. I was thinking the same thing. I've been to some other stadiums like Dallas. They actually do have a tour during the off season. You can go, even in Arizona, you can go schedule. They give tours. You pay, I don't know, it's not much, 20 something, 30 something dollars package. You go see everything. But I've never been in a stadium. I've never been at Rich Stadium, Highmark Stadium. I've never been on the field, Trev. So I'm jealous. Jake, have you ever made it to the field?
Yeah, I played on the field actually.
Did you?
Back in the high school days. We sadly lost, but played in our high school championship game there, and we did lose. But I could have had 3 touchdowns in that game. Fortunately, didn't get any. Had a nice catch for like 37 yards, but that's about it.
All right. Well, cool. Trev, stick around as long as you can. I know you are struggling with your Wi-Fi connection. You got booted right before the show. Hopefully you'll be able to hang in there a little bit longer as we go through the different talking points. But Buffalo Barbie doll, we missed you last week. Thank you for being back. Talk to us. I mean, a tale of two halves, right?
It
Talk to us
felt
about what
like
you
the
saw. What
Arizona
happened?
game.
What's that?
It felt like the
Oh, yeah.
Arizona game.
True. Good
Yeah,
point.
it did.
And they seemed completely dysfunction, no energy, not ready to play, spent in the first half, nothing going the right way in the first half on the offense and for the defense, especially against this low-powered Titans offense. For them to get 10 points is amazing in that first half. And then second half, they put it together. I think Cooper might have opened up some passing lanes that they needed to see him as a threat now. And the running game under Davis seemed to get going, but Cook was a little bit bottled up every time he got the ball, it seemed.
Yeah. It felt like in that first half, Mason Rudolph and Josh Allen had switched jerseys. That's what it
Yeah.
felt like, right?
Yeah.
For the longest time. And then I'm going to throw it to Super Duper Cooper here because then Amari misses a perfectly thrown ball to start, his career in Buffalo, which is like, oh my God, they've been talking about him having the most drops, but you saw what he could do. And this whole everyone eats just got a little bit better. I mean, it's sort of like this group right here. If I ordered, Jake's favorite pizza, I think is Picasso. Is that it? Is that your,
That's
your
right.
place? Like
Picasso's.
order Picasso pizza, but then I order an additional chicken wings to that dinner. I mean, everyone eats with the pizza. They're all eating great. I bring in some chicken wings. Now everyone's eating even more. And Sean, let me throw it to you. Actually, I'm sorry. It's not Sean. It's Super Duper Cooper today. And talk to us about, the addition of our new wide receiver.
Yeah, well, first of all, Trev, really glad you got to experience that. And like Jake said, couldn't happen to a better guy. You do awesome content. And again, glad you got to do all that today and experience a win. And
Thank you very
then
much.
a quick funny story, more like relatable. It was like 5 o'clock. I'm watching the Niners Chiefs game. My wife gets home from her clinical and she asked me to do something. And I said, okay, but can I just relax for a minute first? Then she goes, you've been relaxing since 1 o'clock watching the game. I said, watching the Buffalo Bills is not relaxing. Like by any stretch of the
Yeah.
imagination, it's not relaxing. And I thought you guys could relate to that because, like you mentioned, we couldn't do really much anything in the first half, and minus that one drive where Coleman had a big play, you couldn't do anything on third down. Cook would get a good 5 yard run, and then we get a false start, and then we're 2nd and 10, and then we just again Cooper dropped that ball. But like Mike said, you saw his presence and what he can do on the field. And goes back to what I said earlier in the year is, yeah, we didn't really need Diggs last year, but he didn't produce the last 8 games. He was on the field and feared by the defense. So now having Cooper, everyone can still eat. And what I always like to say is, even with the number one receiver, you should always still be looking for the open man and spreading the ball around. Whereas it seemed like before it was like, oh, let's just force it to Diggs all the time and not
Yep.
scan the field. But I think because Cooper's a humble guy, he's not,
Mhm.
he's not about, oh, I got to get 15 targets. He's not going to throw tablets and cuss people out. He's just there to play ball. And even when he caught the touchdown, it seemed like he was just all business and wasn't really emotional about it. Just caught the ball and was like, okay, let's go. But yeah, he's amazing route runner. Yeah, he dropped that ball, but he made up for it. And I'm really excited to see with more time with the team and with the offense. Again, play calling and play situation seems a little bit frustrating at the moment, but man, they turned a horrible game where nothing was clicking into an excellent game where you were just thinking, well, I know I was thinking, man, if they could have done this in the first half, the starters would have been out middle of the third quarter. But again, we ended up playing well at the end, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, Jake. First of all, talk a little bit about Amari Cooper's addition. I mean, we were joking with Chris and Rick because we have a group chat with them. We seem to have group chats with everybody. It gets a little confusing sometimes because Rick comes in right after the drop. There it is, drop. He's washed, guys. He's washed, and then I threw out some prediction stat line. I got pretty close. I said a touchdown, but yeah, talk a little bit about Amari and what. How does that happen, Jake? How do we come out so flat, looking like just one of the worst teams in the NFL, And then in the second half, we come out and barn burners, man. We're just like one of the top teams again. It's like, what happens? And I'm curious what happens in halftime. Who's chewing who out? Who's that voice saying, this is embarrassing, guys. Let's get out there and change this thing. By the way, Chad and Weston, always great to see you out in the chat. Your team's the only undefeated team after this week. The Chiefs are 7-0. Maybe they're going to go undefeated. I don't know. But Jake, talk about the Buffalo Bills, Amari Cooper, and what happened. What's that transformation? What triggered that?
Yeah, well, they definitely came out flat. And, the old quote is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, when we do play a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, it is about how you start and finish, because you cannot start the way the Bills started today against the Kansas City Chiefs and get away with the victory. Luckily, the Titans are not a great football team. I mean, they started benching starters in the second half because they're talking about trading guys away. They're already looking to next year. They're in rebuild mode. Like, this is the state of the Tennessee Titans right now. So yeah, no, we cannot continue to start football games like this. I would like to see a complete football game from the Buffalo Bills. I feel like we really haven't had that since maybe the Jaguars or the Dolphins game. So I think that's got to be the next challenge from Sean McDermott to his team is, hey, can we get 4 straight quarters of dominance? And I think we have a really good chance to do so in these upcoming weeks. And then, then we got the Kansas City Chiefs in 3 weeks. So yeah, it's going to be a really good test for us. And I love how we finished this game, but now you have to capitalize off of it. As for Amari Cooper, the guy is an absolute tactician. The fact that Chris, Rick, and Tony were all saying that he's washed is absolutely insane. The guy came off a career-high 1,250 receiving yards last year at age 29 in only 15 games. How do you say the guy's washed? He had a 256-yard or 265-yard game against the Houston Texans last year where he was just absolutely mossing guys, burning guys, doing whatever he needed to do. Now, he might not be the flashiest guy in the world, and yeah, sure, he had 6 drops this year coming into today. Now he's got 7. But you try catching a football from a guy that puts massage oil on footballs. I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? Like, that's – I dare you. It's probably hard to do. So, all joking aside, the guy is an absolute tactician. I think he's in a much better situation here in Buffalo. And actually, I kind of like the point that someone had brought it up on the broadcast, basically saying, he was playing under Ken Dorsey in Cleveland. So going from that offense to this offense, they're somewhat similar. I think Joe Brady obviously definitely hones in more on running the football, being a little more physical up front, even though at times it is frustrating because it's predictable. The first half was very predictable, but I think it was a natural transition for Amari because of that alone. Now the fact that he gets to play with Josh Allen is incredible. By the way, what a filthy route on that touchdown. Just a very subtle move, but the guy is good. He can ball. And the fact that people are saying he's washed, absolutely bonkers, horrendous take by those guys.
Oh, yeah. Hope they were joking.
They better be eating their words. That's all I got to say.
They were not joking. I can tell you that. They were not joking.
Well, man, I like those guys too, and they're pretty good football IQ. But
they know their stuff.
I'm gonna have to question some of their validity now. But just real quick before you pass it on, I was thinking about it earlier and I forgot to say it. I think part of the slow start was they must have been, off that emotional primetime game against the Jets. They probably just, ate too much cake and they were a little bit, lackadaisical in the first half. And then after all the cake got burned off, they were ready to go. But it's still not an excuse. I mean, we're leaps and bounds better than that team. Obviously, maybe like 4 years ago, if you said they got D-Hop, Tyler Boyd, and Calvin Ridley, you'd be like, "Oh crap, that's a fierce." I mean, they're still decent, but we're again leaps and bounds better, and we showed that in the second half. You got to be able to do that from start to finish, and you're playing against a Seattle team who, again, they're like us a little bit, where they look amazing one week, they beat the Falcons, they beat another good team earlier in the year, but then you go lose to the Giants, and then you lose to the 49ers by like 25 points, and you look like crap. So we can't go into that week playing with a slow start, because then you're not going to win many games like that, like you said, Jake.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can't play down to the lower level competitions. I mean, you just can't do it. But I do want to ask Trev, like, how was the environment in the first half? I mean, were there some boos coming out there, or
There was in the first quarter, there was booze coming out.
yeah,
Not an awful amount, but the first play was run, throw, didn't work. And the second play was run, throw. And when the second play didn't work, the booze started coming. And Mason Rudolph in that first quarter had the defense couldn't get to him. He had all day to stand in the pocket, and if you want to stay there, throw it. It didn't make any difference. We weren't getting there, so your defense weren't putting pressure on them, and then our offense was just, and the booze started coming. But they settled down afterwards. Like, once the Keon Coleman throw came, things kind of calmed down. Then after that, and but it was getting lively. There was pressure.
Yeah, I have a follow up for you, Trev. But Chat or Weston corrected me 6-0. Yes, I forgot you guys had your bye week, which I absolutely love because I want you to have that early and get tired by the time. Again, you're gonna be tired by the time you play the Bills. I've already said this last week. The Bills will play the Chiefs going, then they'll have their bye week, so they're gonna be going. Well, they're staying at home. Like Chiefs come to Buffalo, and you're like, let's just win this one and we get the next week off. But some other news, real quick. Terrell Bernard exited the game with an ankle injury. He actually exited twice. I don't know what that first injury was. I
Head
came
injury?
back. Was it head?
It
Oh,
was.
they were
Yeah.
evaluating him for that. Yes, good point. And then he did exit with a ankle injury. I think he played a little bit more after that, but yeah, they pulled him out, which made sense. 49ers around the league. 49ers fear torn ACL for Brandon Ayuk, and the Cleveland Browns fear torn Achilles for Deshaun Watson. And Jaden Daniels had a little bit of a scare, but it's I believe he avoided any long-term injury in that game. But he was injured, was ruled out of that game, but they blew out the Panthers anyway. But yeah, let me. Is there any cherry picking we can pull from this team? Jake, you said it's going to be a fire sale. Is there anyone we can maybe pull in from them?
I know a lot of people were calling for us to sign Jamal Adams when they released him, but I am not about that. He's the same player as Taylor Rapp, and by the way, he really hasn't had a full season of football in 4 seasons, and his prime years are well past, and it's unfortunate because the guy had a promising start to his career. I think he had 9.5 sacks, set the record for most sacks by a safety back in like 2020, and did some really special things. But yeah, as of right now, I am not in the sweepstakes to get a Jamal Adams as our safety. By the way, Damar Hamlin, nice interception today. Love to see it.
Second one. It was a nice assist.
My understanding is that we have about $2.5 million left, and that needs to last for the entire season. And my understanding also, we can't extend anybody, or we don't have somebody to extend to get more cap space. So I think they're going to stand pat at this point and not make another move unless it's a desperate need.
Yep.
Yeah, good point. Buffalo Barbie, she's the accountant on the team. She knows the numbers. We appreciate that. Putting me in check there. I love it. I said I had a follow-up, Trev. Where did you sit?
We were sitting in this box 212, so we're between the 40 and 50 line.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh yeah. Look,
wow.
Couldn't ask for better.
You know what, Trev? I did see your video that you posted of Mr. Brightside. That's like the new tradition that we started with. The DK brothers really took that up a notch, between Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. You got to love it. How was that? I mean, 70,000 plus singing Mr. Brightside.
Oh, the super, so it was. When it came on, I did the first 30 seconds or minute of it. I was just watching. I said, geez, I better record this. But it's different than the telly.
Yeah.
When you're watching on TV, you won't hear it as much, but when the crowd was singing with it, it was brilliant. It was like when they scored the touchdown and the shout song comes on. It's the same kind of atmosphere. So it is super.
When did that start, Jake? I mean, first of all,
it was like preseason. It actually started because there was a video that circulated of Dawson Knox, Josh Allen, Spencer Brown, and some of the other guys. They were at a wedding. Actually, I think it was Dawson Knox's wedding, I want to say it was. And Mr. Brightside was on, and the guys looked absolutely buckled. I mean, just having a great time, not a care in the world, but they were all singing Mr. Brightside, jumping up and down. Josh Allen specifically, looking like the stud he is. It was incredible. So during preseason, the song came on and they start doing like air guitar sessions and stuff. And, everyone's having a good time. The crowd gets into it. So they've since made that a tradition, and they started it off the season opener. They actually did it too against Arizona. And it's carried on since. So I think that's a new thing here in Bills Mafia land. Love it.
So it's between quarters? Is that when
Yeah,
they do
it's like the third and fourth quarter they typically
Okay.
do it. And usually it's when we have a lead. I have not witnessed it when the Bills are down. So, although we're undefeated at home, so it makes sense.
Interesting. It's funny. I'm not familiar with the song, like the title. I'm sure if I hear it,
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that. But
You would know.
Mr. Brightside, I'm like, what the heck is that? I haven't heard
Yeah.
it. Anyhow, I'll have to look that up afterwards and play it a few times and to totally understand it. But Jessica, where you want to go next?
First of all, Pittsburgh is leading,
Ooh,
and they're
let's
first and
go.
goal at the 1. And so
They're
is
leading and they got first and goal at the 1?
I assume that they had a turnover against the Jets and got down there after kicking a field goal. So they possibly could be up by 8 points if they do get in. Where I would like to go is talk about the offensive line. And they were really good today, even in the first half, giving Josh plenty of time. But the receivers were just off. They gave him protection. He was, if I remember what they said on the broadcast, he was only hit 4 times in the backfield. So they kept him clean for the most part. And I think they wore down Tennessee in the second half and allowed us just basically to run all over them and pass all over them in that second half.
Yeah, you're talking O-line. That perks Super Duper Cooper's ears. So since she's already brought up the O-line, Sean, talk to us.
Yeah, well, she's right. They did a outstanding job. Again, it's every week for me. Absolutely love doing the film. The first half, obviously, like Jess said, it was great blocking all day to throw. Connection with the receivers was a little off. I felt like Josh was trying to push the ball downfield too much when there was guys open underneath, and then you're taking those low percentage completions and missing instead of taking the high percentage ones. And then you started 4-11, but again, obviously you stay true to your roots, and again, offensive line starts up front, given time in the pass protection when we ran the football. Again, for the first few Cook runs, he was getting 5 yards a carry, and then near the end, when it was getting more and more predictable, it was stuffed at the line, and that was a little rough. But again, overall, it was another fantastic day for them, and I just love watching them play. T'Vondre Sweat didn't do nothing. You didn't hear his name. You didn't hear Jeffrey Simmons' name besides the first. He read that screenplay like a book. As soon as he saw Samuel leak out, he backpedaled into coverage and tipped it. So again, besides that, the O-line, they took down their 2 biggest contributors on the D-line in the run game and in the pass game. So continue that, and Josh feels like he can connect with all these receivers. We're gonna have a good team.
I wanted to talk about that, Sean, a little bit, because I don't think we've given enough credit to like Connor McGovern and David Edwards, really. I mean, we were all concerned as the season started. We're like, there's no way Connor McGovern is going to stick at center and be that guy. It's a hard transition, but he's done a really nice job. I mean, you got to admit, like, we're all about SVP. I don't know if we're going to see him for a little bit. Like, hopefully we don't have to see him, like, I think the reality is, I mean, this Bills offensive line is a lot better than we thought it was. And maybe David Edwards is here to stay.
Yeah,
we got outstanding backups also.
Definitely.
We do. Yeah.
I was obviously one of those people that it wasn't McGovern, but I was concerned about Edwards as a starter because his last stint as a starter was very poor, and he's he's on the older side, and I'm assuming he's not part of the long-term future. So I was just thinking in my mind, I'm not looking forward to that. Plus, we could keep McGovern at guard where he was outstanding, and then we got a nice young piece at center who could be the future. So why not? Let's just go for it. But again, Edwards has absolutely been another outstanding piece in the run game, and even in his weak spot in pass blocking, he's been outstanding this year too. Again, it looks different on TV, and if you don't watch my reviews, obviously I'm not saying I know everything in the world, but it really puts it in perspective because you hear some people say, "Oh, he was running for his life all day," but then they forget that he's running out of the pocket early because he's trying to make a play because the receivers aren't getting open. It's not because the line's not blocking. It's because he's trying to do a scramble drill, and he, out of his own mouth, even said, "We practice the scramble drill all the time in practice because it's part of what makes us good at offense." It's not because the line can't block. It's because people can't really defend it. So if the play breaks down, nobody's open. He's not going to sit in the pocket for 10 seconds till Mac Hollins gets open downfield. So that's just part of who we are. And again, having a great O line, we never had this since I can remember. Even when Eric Wood and Richie Incognito were here, it wasn't as good as we have it now. So let's enjoy it, continue to run the football, and you get just the difference between 3 years ago, Josh, and now, as far as pocket presence, it's way better. And sometimes it gets us into trouble because the blocking is so good. He gets lazy and it's like, okay, let me just sit here for 5 seconds, like my controller died in Madden, and then just chuck the ball downfield. So sometimes you're
analogy.
like, man, I wish the O line was bad again because he made better decisions. But obviously that's just being a joke. But yeah,
How about Spencer Brown too? By the way, what a rebound game for him. I don't think he was penalized today, was he?
no, it was Dawkins. Dawkins
Yeah, it
had
was
a false
Dawkins.
start.
I was waiting for the 79 to be called, but it wasn't. It was 73. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Last game it wasn't about the play; it was about the penalties that were
Mhm.
killing us from the O line. And
Right.
again, you played as bad as Tennessee is. They have some pretty good players on that D line: Harold Landry, Devondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, and then the Jets have a great defensive line. So if you're looking at them as a unit, awesome job. And if you do your part, it makes the receiver's job easier, it makes Josh's job better because the receivers are getting open. And again, this is an offensive line where they have to plan. They can't just run base uh, defense on you. They have to run blitzes and exotic blitzes and just crazy little looks because they can't get to you with just four guys. So that's credit to Cromer and all the guys put in that work.
And by the
So
way, the Titans, one last thing, Mike, I
yeah,
just wanted to bring this up because this is crazy. They talked about this a little bit too on the broadcast, but the Titans were allowing the fewest yards per game coming into this matchup, even though they're a 1-4 team. They were only allowing 248.8 yards a game. The Bills had 389 total yards of offense today. So
yeah,
pretty damn good.
all in the second half. Real
Yep.
quick question, Sean. Through 7
Sure.
weeks, is this O line better than last year's O
Yeah,
line?
definitely.
Definitely. All right,
Absolutely.
love
Yeah.
it.
Because they're doing it every single game, both sides of the or run and pass. And again, some of them are better than others. I think the Houston game was their worst game, but also Josh didn't do any favors with. I think that game Josh had a 45% bad throw percentage in all of his passes, which is obviously like half his throws. So it didn't help much. But yeah, overall, man, they were ranked sixth going into week 7, and they finished in the top 5 last year. But they started last year at like 24 because they were bad in the year before that. So yeah, I think they're better overall. Brown improved again. Torrance improved again. McGovern is just as good. Edwards again, he's playing above what I expected, and then Dawkins is having his best year as a pro. And last year he did that. He did give up a sack today. He got beat pretty good, but minus that one play, they were A+ again.
Yeah. Trev, real quick, in the box seats, did they feed you well?
Well, you could go and get it if you wanted to feed, but you'd
Oh,
pay for it.
I thought
Oh
I thought
man.
I thought
Yeah.
they bring it to you and have the buffet already set up in the boxes and all that. No.
No. We ate before we went in, and I went in. And at halftime, we got 2 bags of crisps, or Cheetos, as you call them, or snacks, and 2 bottles of water. And Lord, what the nearly $30. I couldn't.
Oh,
Disgusting. I
I
know.
that's
Yeah.
couldn't
terrible.
believe it. So,
Yeah.
but again, it was an enjoyable day. Just want to clear up one thing because I made a mistake in my sponsors. One of my sponsors was Maxwell Murphy Law instead of not brewery, and it was Sullivan's Brewery. I just want to
Oh, yes.
Nice.
clear that up. So I do apologize for getting them wrong, but I had it written in front of me. It just came to me there. So
Very nice. Where did you tailgate, Trev?
we went to the big tree, and
Very
uh,
nice.
there was 20 Germans over. So we met them. We met them on Thursday night, and we met them again. They were tailgating there as well. And the the people I was with, I was just following around. We met different people from here and there, and then we were walking up the street and met 2 guys from England that were over. That were at the London game last year as well, and they
Nice.
came over. The nice thing about the 2 games that we've been at is the weather has been it was like this in London last year, and again today it was beautiful. It was like a hot summer's day in Ireland.
That's great. Yeah.
Did you get to see Pinto Ron? The guy who shoots the ketchup, or they shoot the ketchup
No,
and the mustard all over it? No.
No.
All right. Yeah, it was
That was-
You
probably
weren't
a
far
good
from
thing.
him. You're right
That-
across the street. He's in the Hammer lot. They do it over there at the top of the hill.
The hammer
I
lot.
think we went into that last, but the people were just leaving. But that wouldn't be my cup of tea now.
Oh, okay.
Big L saying, I think the Bills have got past the better D lines in the first part of the season.
Hmm.
We have played some good defensive lines.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Chiefs
so
are pretty darn good, though.
So, Trev, I'm just going around the horn asking where you want to go next. Who do you want to talk about, Trev? Who do you want to give some shout outs from the game today?
From the game, you have to admire how Amari Cooper played, considering it's his first game with the team. And it did take the pressure off Keon Coleman because Keon Coleman was excellent today. He was awful unlucky. I thought it was a touchdown, but the referee didn't. And he deserved his touchdown. Kahil Shakir is a man that's not talked about an awful lot by outside of Buffalo people. And one drive today, they threw 5 passes, and 5 passes all went to Kahil Shakir. And if you throw in the ball, it sticks. Unlike other players, it sticks. I just think he was brilliant. Josh Allen, once the halftime came, became Josh Allen. Whatever was wrong in the first half, whether it was play calls or just whatever, maybe having an off day, he didn't look comfortable in the first half for most of it. Then our defense, first quarter, they couldn't get near Rudolph. It improved an awful lot after halftime. They hounded him after halftime. And again, as you said at the start, this is grand and I'm delighted and I enjoyed it and it was a brilliant victory. But when you face the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Lions, we can't start at halftime. You have to start at the start. Yes, you have to finish too, but if you think Pat Mahomes is going to wait for us to start at halftime and he won't have his bet out the gate, or Brock Purdy or Jared Goff, they'll have the game over if we play like that. But it's a win. And the Chiefs, now I've seen a bit of the game today, and again, they weren't awful impressive, the big part I've seen of it, but they won well in the end. But they've been, not setting the world alight, but getting their wins and not playing out of this world football, but they're improving every week. So if we can do that from now, then starting the games quicker, we'll take tea with anything. And Amari Cooper has put us into that where before this week, I would say, and if we got to the playoffs and into the wild card, and you could hope then from then on. Now you're looking with having Amari Cooper there, where you're looking at, well, we're looking at going for divisional at least, if not going to the AFC Championship. And then when you get there, you want to win it. There's no, you don't look back and go, oh, that's good enough now. You want to go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to tell you, if you weren't following football, and I was to tell you through 6 games, Jake, Pat Mahomes has 8 interceptions, and through 7 games, Josh Allen has 0 interceptions, and I said, who's the undefeated team? You'd say Buffalo all day. You'd say Buffalo all day long. But the Chiefs, good teams went ugly, and it's a little scary because when he corrects that, and we know Pat Mahomes, he's not going to continue to throw interceptions at this pace. I don't think so. When they clean it up and they get some of these pieces that they're expecting back, I mean, it's scary. It's scary when you're winning games like this now, when you're still throwing, like I said, 8 interceptions through 6 games. That's insane.
I think it was Trey in our Discord shared a stat, and it's like only Pat Mahomes and Peyton Manning have, since the inception of the NFL, they're the only 2 quarterbacks to throw more interceptions than touchdowns and start the year off 6-0 or better. So, and the last time that happened, Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Broncos his last year, where he was absolutely washed, couldn't even grip a football, and they won the Super Bowl. So scary. I hate thinking about it.
Yeah, let's not think about it, pal. Let's get back to this game.
Right.
But you talked about Khalil Shakir, Trev. Great call. He's still getting through that sprained ankle. 7 targets, 7 receptions. We call him Pinball here. That's my nickname I've given him because he bounces off people and gets extra yardage when he has absolutely no business getting extra yardage. But he's like a vacuum, man. You throw anything his way, he's gotta have, guys. Maybe somebody can look up the stats. He's gotta have one of the highest completion percentages when balls thrown his way. It's gotta be up there. But yeah, Jessica, I mean, Trev's talking about it. Yeah, Khalil Shakir, I think he's getting more notoriety. We've known about him for a while. Like, we knew this year was going to probably be, was going to continue to ascend. I think he's getting some notoriety around the league as well on other media platforms. What's your thoughts on Khalil?
I think he's outstanding. When he first rookie year, I did not think he was going to work out. I truly didn't. But he is he is our slot receiver, and he's doing the job that I can't remember the name of our
Cole Beasley
was doing.
Yeah. Yep.
He's doing it better. He's got better hands. He's quicker. He knows where the defenders are. He just sits down and finds a spot for Josh, and he's the safety valve for Josh at this point. I do want to call you out, Mike.
Oh, love it. Call me out tomorrow.
2 weeks ago, I think, something about Coleman not being worth the pick, and I said in 3 weeks, or I said, well, I'll know how good Coleman is in 3 years. I think I said to you.
I do remember that.
In 3 years. Well, it only took a couple weeks. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you have questioned it? There was other good receivers we wanted before him. Everything we heard about in the draft is true. There's not a lot of separation. My goodness, I think if he doesn't trip on the turf monster, he might have been able to take it to the house. But that corner was super fast. Whoever was chasing him down, I'm not sure, because he caught his balance, goes again, and he still got a pretty good lead. But this dude, I don't know who was chasing him down there, because that dude had good speed. Anyone know?
I don't remember.
I actually don't know who it was. Might have been
he lost about 3 or 4 yards of separation when he tripped. But I'm thinking if he was full stride still, I mean, he would have scored that touchdown. He should have had 2 touchdowns. Josh should have had 4. But man, I guess I don't want to get into it. But I'm with Trev. It looked like a touchdown to me. His whole body crossed the end zone, and then he fumbled it. And they're like, "Oh, he didn't have control of it." But you just need the point of the ball over the line. That's all you need.
Well, that's the panel here in a second. But tracker viewer Cam Lewis, two big tackles today, buddy. Great game. But Chad the Chief again. I mean, thank you so much, Chad, for the super chat. Man, I'm telling you, where else are you gonna find a Chief fan supporting a Bills podcast? Him and Weston, 2 of the best. They're in our Discord. I'm sorry, supporting our podcast. They're in our Discord. Discord's free to join. I have the link in the description. Join us. We talk football. Actually, we talk all sports 7 days a week, and we have threads for the Chiefs, threads for the Finns, threads for baseball. Oh my goodness, lots of good stuff. Yankees, winning their series. Super happy about that. We got Sabres. So Chad, thank you so much. He says, for everyone, I listen to Sirius XM NFL radio, and they bring up the idea of moving the trade deadline from where it is currently to the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thoughts? Are you for or against this idea? So first, let's put this into perspective. Currently, when is the current trade deadline? When does that hit?
The 8th.
November 5th. Is
Mhm.
it the 8th or the 5th?
yeah.
I thought it was the 5th.
I thought it was the 8th,
Something like that.
but
And it's
it
like,
could be the 5th.
let's see.
So, what
The 5th
if
or
we
the
did
8th.
that?
Yeah.
If we did that, so we're talking about extending it, what, 1 or 2 more weeks from what it currently is?
It is the 5th. Yeah.
That would probably be 3. Well, 2.5 weeks. Yeah.
2.5 weeks. Okay. I'll start with you, Jessica. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it gives teams a better perspective of how good their team is and whether or not they do want to trade away assets and give up basically on the season, or acquire assets so that they can make a drive for the playoffs. And I think just having an extra 2 weeks to decide what your team is, it would be helpful for every NFL team.
Oh, I love that. I love that point, and I fully agree with you there. I'm going to go with Jessica or Sean. You have any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I love everything she said. Plus, in the event you lose a key piece, like for example, say I want to use a team that's already out because I don't want to jinx anyone. Say you're the Browns and you're 10-1, and then Myles Garrett tears his ACL. If you push the trade deadline back, now you can actually sign another elite pass rusher, because if it ends in the 5th and you tear your ACL the 6th, you're SOL. So I think it'd be a great idea. It would be kind of it'd be kind of pushing it, because if you got teams like us where McDermott's like like him and Naheem Hines. I know it was a bad trade to begin with, but he like didn't play at all, and like he couldn't learn the offense. He couldn't learn the offense. I know Cooper's going to, but if you trade for someone in week 12, some teams it just seems like maybe they won't be gelled in time to end the season. But again, I think it could only help. It could only help teams, in my opinion. Like what Jess said too. I agree. You're
Uh-oh,
muted,
Mike,
buddy.
you're
You're
mute.
muted, Mike.
How do you know I'm muted? I wasn't muted. I was just lip syncing
He's
something
testing
right
it.
now.
It has
I was
the mute.
I was
It has
singing the what
the
is
muted
it?
Doing Mr.
microphone next to
Brightside.
your
The
name.
Mr. Brightside. I was just singing it. Jake, anything to add? I was asking.
No, I love the points you guys made. It makes 100% sense. I mean, the farther you get into the season, the more injuries that accrue anyways, as it is. And that's around the time Thanksgiving. That's the time you start talking about playoffs and the hunt, and like you really get into that stuff. So I feel like it's beneficial to do so. And I mean, that's when it is during like usually fantasy football too. Same deal. So you might as well line the two up.
Ooh, 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 I love you. Yeah, I guess some Milli Vanilli. Let's go. So I love that. And
Great
Trev,
question, Chad.
yeah, great question again. Thank you so much for the super
Thank you.
chat. It goes a long way to helping the channel. So we greatly appreciate you. And I forget to always say this a lot of times, but please smash that like button. Take a just a quick second right now and smash it for us. Share the podcast. We are at about what are we about? I think we're about 117 subs away from hitting 2,000. 2,000 subs, everyone. We're shooting for that. Before the season ends, I think we can hit it a lot sooner. We got some great supporters here. But yeah, help us out there. And again, if you're new to the channel, drop a nickel on that subscribe button. I say that, but it's absolutely free. It takes you just a second. And we do some cool things here. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be giving away you want to show them, Jake? We give
I
away a
will,
shirt
yeah, let me
tonight
move
for
this
those
up.
that are in the channel. It is our Nickel City Mafia. There you go. We got some merch. We don't talk about it enough, but we do have a sponsor. And if you wanted to quickly mention, I think it's your cousin's place. Want to talk about that, Jake, a little bit?
Yeah, Big Stitch Embroidery. They're based in Buffalo. He is doing some great things with them, and yeah, they do all of our merch. There is a select section on there of our merchandise and apparel. You can use the promo code NCM15 to get 15% off your order, by the way, if you do order Nickel City Mafia merch. And yeah, I mean, you could do custom shirts, hoodies, hats, you name it. But then he also does company apparel too. So pretty awesome stuff.
Let's get our Chiefs guys hooked up with these shirts.
Yeah, I think we have to.
We're gonna be giving it. We'll do a drawing, but you two, you don't even have to ask if you're gonna wear it and support it. Absolutely, you guys will get it. Not a problem at all. Weston said I'd wear it, and he says Chad says I'd wear one too. So love it. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you. So we've talked to, just throw you some numbers out there real quick. Josh Allen, like I said, first half, I'm like thinking to myself, are we going to be calling for Brady's head just like we were calling for Dorsey's head last year at this time? But they turned it around. And again, I think you guys all made great points. We got to figure things out quicker. You can't wait to the second half with these better teams that we're going to be playing. But listen, Josh Allen looked like he was going to have another horrendous game. Comes away with the 21 of 33 for 323 yards. I believe, is that his first 300 game this year?
It is, yes.
It is. This is just incredible. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Had a nice QBR rating of 66.1 and a passer rating of 116.1. Ray Davis led the backfield as far as yards. He had 5 carries for 41 yards, 8.2. His momentum from last Monday continued to carry into this game. James Cook was out there. He was kind of banged up. Didn't really know until late in the week that he was even going to play. He did. By the way, Ray Davis had a touchdown, averaged 8.2 yards. James Cook had a touchdown. He had 12 carries for 32 yards. He only averaged 2.7 yards, but he had a touchdown. Of course, Josh Allen, I don't know. Last time I've seen Josh Allen carry the ball 3 times for 1 yard, I don't know if it's ever happened, Jake. I don't know. You would know
this. Sure, it's happened a couple times where the yards just are not there, and that's okay. I'm fine with it. If he doesn't have to run, don't run. Like, stay healthy,
Stay healthy. So, Super Duper Cooper. Let's talk about the other wide receiver, our rookie, who Buffalo Barbie Dell called me out on. And Keon Coleman, 4 receptions for 125 yards, 7 targets, and you thought he should have a second touchdown. But whether or not that's the case. But great game. They're starting to use him more coming over the middle, right? In the slot, I don't know if he's on the outside or in the slot, but he's coming on the inside. They're throwing on that ball, 6.4, got 6'4", 200. What is he, 215, something like that? Got to utilize that more, and they're starting to do that. So, what you seeing there? What's changing with that chemistry, sir?
Yeah, well, it's just a game by game basis. Just with anything, you get used to how the person throws the ball, you get used to how the person runs the routes, and gradually you just improve every week. But do you guys, especially Jake and Mike, do you remember what I said as soon as we drafted Keon Coleman? Do you remember specifically or no?
Yeah, you said he's garbage, and
besides
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
I didn't want him. I said this would have been a perfect pick if we had Stephon Diggs, because Coleman.
You did say that.
Coleman would have less pressure, and he can actually learn from a vet. And then obviously it's not just because we brought in Cooper this week, but you could see the difference of when he's not a guy that they're really trying to lock down, and he played free. He looked comfortable and smooth, and it was just we could have had all season if you had a guy like Cooper Diggs in the building already, because it was just way too high of an expectation, not just for us but like in general. And then to have him come out there as a rookie, we have guys that they're really solid number 2s and 3s, but nobody's a game changer. But now when you got a guy like Cooper out there, Khalil Shakir becomes a number 2. That's a damn good number 2. Keon Coleman becomes a number 3. That's a real damn good number 3. And then Mac Hollins is a number 4. And even as a number 2 and 3, he was beating this guy, a good amount of times throughout the year. Got a couple touchdowns. So this is just going to the addition of Amari Cooper is just going to make everybody play better. And with pairing that with Coleman just getting more comfortable with the NFL, being more experienced with reading defensive backs and how to get leverage and things like that. He's just going to keep learning every week, and he's putting in the work, and I'm excited to see his future. But now I'm even more excited knowing that he doesn't have to be a focus because it's just going to naturally happen when you have a guy like uh, Cooper and Shakir over him to really take attention away.
Yeah, Josh really trusts him to make adjustments.
Yeah,
Up until this game, it's been pretty much using him like throwing it down the sideline, letting him adjust. And Keon Coleman obviously has great hands, but I'm waiting for when they start utilizing him going high. He's got basketball behind him. They talked a little bit about that on the broadcast. The kid can go up for a ball. Haven't seen
that's
that
true.
yet, but
Yeah.
that just I mean, look what he's doing now. Once Josh gets even more comfortable, which he is very comfortable with him, I mean, he's just going to continue to grow and grow, especially with the addition of Cooper now helping everybody eat more. Tom, Jake, he's one of the OGs. Tom S, one of the
That's
OGs
right.
on the channel. He's been a
Wow.
follower way back in the day. Tom, it's great to see you. We appreciate you. The Bills make me want to shout. Yes, they
Pull
do.
my hair
And
out,
let's
shout,
go.
scream.
Let's get the horn going. Yeah.
Hey,
Trev was hearing this
Trev can
all
sing it.
game. Yeah, Trev.
Yeah,
Let's go.
it was brilliant.
But real quick, Mike, just to keep on Coleman for a minute.
Yeah.
They maybe don't go high, but they mastered that back shoulder throw connection already.
Yeah.
Like
They have.
that's probably
Yes.
like the ninth or 10th time they made that play, and they're both so fluid and comfortable with that already in 7 weeks, and that's stuff you would see with like Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers in their prime, and it's super exciting. And some of these times maybe throw them a basketball kind of throw and let them go up and get it, but I think that back shoulder is an element of surprise, and again, they got the connection down, so it's looking good. And they said on the broadcast we run the ball 61% of the time in the red zone. I think we should stop that. I think run the ball up until the red zone, and then use those weapons, Shakir, Coleman, and now Cooper, Kincaid, Knox. Use them in the red zone, and I think that's when we're going to be once we can really master that red zone offense. That's when we're going to be putting up major points and major hurting on people.
It's
Yes.
crazy, by the way. You guys were talking about targets to catches. Khalil Shakir, 28 targets, 27 catches this
It's
year.
insane.
Like, that's
Insane.
nuts. Wild.
So Tom, thanks again. He's a big fan of the Bills, but he's a bigger fan of the Sabres. And Tom, they're trying to get that Sabre show kicked off again. It's coming soon. I know Sammy's just eager to get it going. They've had a few holdups just based on Timmy's schedule, but they'll get that kicked off very soon. And we know you're a big fan of that one. So thank you again, Tom. Really appreciate that. And good to see you back. Let's see here. We got some questions out there. Let's see here. RX fly fishing. Yep. Kean cooked with Amari out there with him. Yep. It's going to make it. We talked about that. It's going to make everyone better. By the way, I'm looking at an update here.
Yeah.
30 to
Jeepers.
15, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. By no means is it over, but I just want to go over there real quick. I want to see what not Amari, but
3 for
Devontae
30.
Adams is doing. Oh my
3 for 30.
goodness.
You see, I
Yeah.
bet the Jets wish
Woo.
that they had the trade deadline till Thanksgiving, because then they could trade
Yeah.
all their assets away after they failed their original trade deadline.
And Rodgers,
Yeah.
2 interceptions. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Russell Wilson looking like the old
Touchdown
Russ.
for Russ.
Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Man.
We love it. We love it. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we
And a
love to see
rushing
that.
touchdown from Russ. A rushing
Uh,
touchdown, too, from Russ. What a
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
He's been
Yeah.
cooking.
He is.
Who is Aaron Rodgers going to blame this week?
Yeah,
I know,
that's what I
right?
was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Who ran the wrong route this time?
Yeah.
This was somebody brought this up. Oh, this was in our group chat here. I just wonder what the other trade Bean is working on. Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, or a big DT. I think Jessica shut us down on this. I don't think there's any deal to be had out there, Jessica, right?
No
You
big
never
deal.
know, but
No
I
big
think he-
deal.
I think he's just talking. Yeah, we might be looking for something, but like Jess said, you want to have that $2 million for like an absolute emergency if you lose someone and you got to sign someone else, because we're really strapped. But if apparently, again, I'm not an expert on it, but Myles Garrett is in the same situation that Cooper was. He's got no guaranteed money. next year and the year after, and he's for the league minimum right now. So technically,
Oh,
you
gosh.
could probably get him, but you're going to definitely have to re-sign him, and you're probably going to have to give up at least a second round pick to get him. So I just don't think it's in the cards for Buffalo, because I don't think Brandon Beane's gonna do something like that. But hey, if you could throw that Viking second round pick, get Myles Garrett, and then I guess you got to see what happens. But man, wouldn't that be sick? You get a guy like Myles Garrett on this
Oh,
team.
that'd be insane.
I know it's a pipe dream, but just as
How
soon as
about
I heard,
AJ
oh,
Epinessa's play, Sean? Though, talk about
yeah, he
that
did
one.
good today. Yeah, he did
Right?
real good today. He
Almost
had
had a
another.
pick.
He had a sack. Almost had a
Should have had
pick.
a
He had a
pick,
batted
Jake.
pass.
Should have had a pick.
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, right in his hands.
He's got so much energy. I love when he plays good, man. And if he can, do that every week. I mean, doesn't get like 2 or 3 sacks a game every week, but man, if he can just make a splash play here and there every game, his energy is just infectious. And then Greg Rousseau finally got back on the sack board. He's been getting some pressures, and then he beat his man a lot today, and then he finally got rewarded for it, which was nice to see since week 1. So yeah, it was like Trev said in the beginning, we couldn't really do much on defense, and then after those first couple drives, they really settled in. And again, it was just I can't believe we can't just put a good full game together. Besides the Jags game was probably the only one we did. Man, if we played that whole game like that, we probably would have won 70 to nothing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Listen to Rousseau. So yeah, he was all over the place, but he only got half a sack, but he had 6 quarterback hits. It was all over the place.
Who got the other half for that
so
one?
Smoot got the other half.
And he played excellent
He's been
today.
great.
Yeah, he has been.
Yeah, Smoot. Yeah, he really turned it up.
Epinesa had a sack, and Daquan Jones had a sack as well.
Did he?
And Cam Lewis had another big day. Trick Review still out there.
I don't remember Daquan Jones getting a sack.
The Bills
he
might
was
end up
credited with
with
one.
more wins than the Jets and Giants combined.
Oh.
Maybe even more than the Jets and the Dolphins combined. I don't know. That's a possibility right now.
I just love this because, like, Jet fans are just, oof. I love around a lot of them. It's just there's a couple. I'm friends with a couple of them. They're good guys, but man, it's just when it's football season, even when they're trash, they just
Insufferable.
I'm trying to get
so many adjectives.
Trying to get Anthony on the line right now.
He's got to be in shambles right now.
East Summit. Oh my goodness.
They're going to get Rodgers killed with this.
And
defense.
Watching the first half of this game, it's like, man, maybe the Jets have something here. Brees Hall looking great, catching passes, over 90 yards receiving in the first half. Like, second half, though, what a train wreck. I mean, yikes. It's tough.
Well, the old washed offensive line, bad coaching, old washed quarterback, and just you love to see it because they went and took Adams' whole contract. Rodgers is getting $60 million a year. They have to still pay Sauce Gardner. They have to pay Quinnen Williams again. They got to pay Brees Hall. They got to pay Garrett Wilson, and it's all coming to fruition in a good way for the Bills, and now they're about to be 2-5. So a lot of football left. We can have a Dolphins type collapse, but we don't really do that. So knock on some wood. But a lot of football left. But I'm liking the standings as of right now.
Me too.
Well, we started talking a little bit about defense, and Jake, I'll throw it to you. I mean, we talked about Rousseau, we talked about AJ Epinesa, but man, some other guys are shining as well. So talk to me about this defensive side of the ball.
Talk about Dwayne Carter.
Yes.
This is maybe my favorite draft pick, honestly, from the Bills outside of Cole Bishop. Listen, we got time with Cole Bishop. He'll develop. Let him sit a little bit. He made a nice special teams tackle today, so you love to see that. But Dwayne Carter, I want to put an emphasis on this young man. He is having the best season as far as defensive tackles go, in my opinion, on the Buffalo Bills. The guy's absolutely killing. He's got such a promising future. The fact that he can literally play any position on the D line, whether that's a 0 tech, 1 tech, 3 tech, even play a little outside. I know he did that at Duke a little bit. I'm an enormous fan. Dwayne Carter, man, he's been special. Great pick in the 3rd round. And then the linebacker play again, like Terrell Bernard. I know he went out twice today, but what an impact he has! Every single game, you could feel it. He is special, really is.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he had 8 tackles, 2 tackle for losses, and the defense is obviously a much different team when he's in there. So hopefully that ankle injury. I mean, we need him against the Seahawks. Seahawks are no walk in the park, and hopefully he'll be able to get through whatever's lingering there. But Jessica, who else do you want to talk about on this defense?
Spectre. He's
Balin.
quality backup, something that we need on this team. When Milano comes back, if he comes back, I think the linebacker core is going to be outstanding.
Yeah, I agree. So Balin's back there with 6 tackles today. Wow, I didn't think he had that many snaps. I know he came in for and had a nice play, but 6, he was on the field for quite a bit. So good stuff. Always been one of your favorites, Jake. Always been one of your favorites.
It was his birthday, I believe, today.
Oh yeah, that's right. They
26.
did say it was. They did say it was his birthday.
How about it?
Very cool. So people continue to say, I still hear this. I'm not sure why people still unsure of Damar Hamlin and saying he shouldn't be starting. I don't know why they're saying this. The kid continues to show that he can make plays, and another interception for him, his 2nd of the year.
I love it. This is a hot take by Trek Reviewer. I don't know. I feel like Dorian Williams, sure, he makes mistakes from time to time, but the guy's playing free. He's aggressive. Mm-hmm. I love what he's bringing to the table. He can play.
Top tackler, 10 tackles, tackle for loss.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
always knew he could play.
Yeah, you can be a top tackler, but if you're tackling everyone 5 yards down the past the line of scrimmage, not a good thing. But every week you see this kid's making tackle for losses, and I think the only, his coverage is gonna continue to get better. I mean, that's probably his only weakness right now. He's all over the field. Jessica, you like what you're seeing from Dorian?
Oh yeah, he's quick to the ball. His recognition is good. Like you said, the only issue is coverage right now. He seems like he's sniffing out what the opponents are doing. I don't know if that's what Bernard is telling him to do, but he seems like he's in tune with this defense.
Yeah, so Sean, I mean, the Bills, again, their turnover differential has got to be one of the best in the league. It's got to be top 5, I'm sure. Again, we get 2 more turnovers. We get the interception and we get the fumble, but defense, man, making it happen when they need to.
Yeah,
Dorian left with a knee injury, by the way. Did you guys see that?
It did not.
Apparently he had a knee injury today. Left the game.
Dorian?
Yeah, Dorian Williams, yeah.
Yeah, maybe because at first they said Bernard. It was before Bernard even got hurt. They said Bernard came off, but then he was in the game. Like, oh, never mind, he's back in. So maybe they meant Williams. But I thought I saw him go back in. But
okay,
Jake,
maybe
we were at the Tampa game. Remember, Jake? We thought we saw Dorian Williams starting apparently, and he wasn't even on the field.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah, that's true. I do remember that.
Like, Dorian Williams looked pretty good out there. We're like, oh wait, that wasn't even him.
That's not Dorian Williams.
but yeah, I think I thought I saw him go back in, so hopefully he's okay. But man, we gotta keep at least one of them healthy because Bernard's just an absolute playmaker, and if he's not on the field, they were scaring me a little bit because when he first got hurt, they were like, oh, he's reaching for his pec that he hurt, and I'm just like, what? What are you talking about? And then all of a sudden it was his head, and I was like, oh, come on. And then he got hurt again, and I was like, oh, geez, like he's got to stay healthy, man, because I do like Spectre. I'm with Jessica. I think Spectre is great, but he's just such a playmaker. Like Spectre is a great tackler, but he's not like a splash guy like Bernard is. But yeah, a linebacker play, it's good. I like Williams. I think he's still learning. He did play a little bit of reps as a rookie, but this is like his first, like just the same thing with Epinesa when he was a rookie. He didn't play much, and then he finally got a rookie season. This is kind of like what it is for me as well. I'm treating this as a Williams rookie year, and he's getting better each week. He's great at tackling. He's fast. He's strong, and he hits hard. So a lot of great qualities. He's not afraid. So year after year, week after week, he'll get better. And if we do have to make a trade for someone, I was just thinking randomly, for a linebacker, he's a starter now, but if we're worried about injuries going forward, Robert Spillane from Las Vegas.
Bobby Spillane.
He'd fit great with our defense, and they're 2-5. So I don't know what his contract is like or anything, but if we're in dire need of protecting our position for injury, if depending on, I don't know what's wrong with either of them. Apparently, they both got hurt today, but yeah, that'd be detrimental losing one of those guys.
Yeah, I was just looking at some team stats here. I mean, both teams had 18 first downs. Time of possession, believe it or not, was owned by the Titans, mostly because of that, all because of that first half. They have 32 minutes to Buffalo's 27 minutes. Of course, we had the 2 turnovers. We were 3 of 10 on third down. Would like to see that a little bit higher, of course. And penalties were way down. So we had 5 penalties for 40 yards, whereas Titans had 8 penalties for 52. And yeah, that's pretty all the real notes there. But Trev, I have to ask you, how you holding up? Jet lag? I know it's late for you here, but how you holding up, my friend?
Not bad. The last 3 nights now, I've been awake 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and 4 o'clock in the
Jeez.
morning.
Oh man,
That you have to add on 5 hours to Irish time when I've used to. So that's 8, and 9. So in Ireland it's normal, but over here it's different. But it's grand. Look at the Bulls, everything, the weekend, all the stuff we did before the game, and then going to the game and seeing the stadium and the whole lot. Like the memory, I've loads of memories that stand out, but the biggest memory that'll stand out is I've got the chance to lay me flag down underneath Buffalo in the middle of the field yesterday, and that's something that I won't forget.
what type of food have you eaten here in
Yeah, I was
Buffalo,
just gonna
Trev? That's
ask
the
that.
real question.
I've had chicken wings, I've had burgers, dino burgers, and restaurant burgers, and I have to say, I was pretty nervous because I know how over here you like your steaks or burgers medium to rare or whatever.
You guys do well done, right?
I'm a well done kind of guy,
Yeah.
but they were absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't go too exotic because I've had salmon as well. I eat normal kind of basic foods, and so I just stuck to it. But the chicken wings were kind of a spicy kind of a chicken wing. It was lovely.
Where'd you
And,
get the wings at Big Tree Inn there, or where'd you get them?
No, let me see now. No, in the Buffalo Irish Centre, I got the wings.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
and they were lovely.
Well, I'm gonna blow your. If we do go to Barbill, if we do meet up and go to Barbill, it'll blow your mind. I think they are the best chicken wings in the world. So I'm just putting it out there. I've tried a lot of wings.
Yeah, someone's done
You gotta
Trev
take them to
wrong.
Paula's too, Jake.
Beef on weck, guys.
Oh yeah, Paula's.
Gotta get
Beef
him a
on weck,
beef on
too.
weck, dude. Trev, have you heard of that? Beef on weck?
I've heard. Is it on a stick or kind of to cut it or something like that, or is it
Roast
put
beef on a
it's a
Kimmel weck roll.
sandwich.
It's a sandwich, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So I know you're leaving Tuesday. You're probably flying out real early, huh? So because
Tuesday afternoon, I'm not getting home. I won't land in Ireland till 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. But
Oh damn!
I have a 5-hour stopover in Newark, so it's Tuesday evening. I'm leaving here, and then there'll be a stopover.
So you might have time if you get your chicken wings tomorrow at the bar bill. I don't know. Maybe you do have a big appetite. You can also throw down a beef on weck, but you got to try the beef on weck before you leave.
You got to do it.
You got.
I'm giving you your parting gift too, Trev. Some sponge candy. Take it back.
I didn't have that yet, Jake.
You haven't had that,
it's good,
Sean?
man. Yeah.
I never had it. No, we had Paula's, and I used to go to a game once in a while, but I would just drive there and come back. But the last couple of times I went to games, I stayed. Once was at Airbnb, once was with Jake, and I got to actually go out and experience stuff in Buffalo. And then what was it? The peanut donut, the peanut sticks.
Peanut sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And we had Barbill, we had Elmo's. I will say I had 2 beef on wex there. I had one from Barbill, one from Elmo's. If you could mix them both together, it would have been the best. But one of them had a good roll. It was like garlic butter with Parmesan cheese on it. But the meat wasn't that good. But then I think Barbill had the better meat. So I was like, man, if you could have took the bread from here and put it with the meat here, it would have been great. And I think Elmo's didn't even have the dipping sauce, the jus.
That's
they didn't even
crazy.
have that.
The jus, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? You're supposed to have that. So, but again, if you could have it, Trev, definitely try to get it. But the chicken wings at Barbill, that's another level. That's a whole nother level of food. That's amazing.
And blue cheese with your wings, Trev. We don't do ranch here.
I don't do cheese at all.
Okay. Well, it's
But
different than what you think. It's not like a dressing per se. A lot of people think, oh, blue cheese, that's that's for salad. That's no.
Yeah.
Here it is a dipping sauce and a dipping sauce only.
Yeah. To make you feel
I,
better, Trev, I hate and I'm disgusted by the blue cheese dressing. But when I had blue cheese at Barbell in Buffalo, it got me hooked, and I could eat it with anything now. That
I
one
love that.
specifically from that restaurant. So definitely, you got to give it a try. If you don't like it, it's all right, but definitely got to try it.
we might give it a go.
I think he's close to Steve's Pig and Ox over there on Abbott Road, where he's staying. So again, if you don't get a chance to try the beef on weck, I've always loved the beef on weck. They're a little bit run down. They only take cash, but their beef on weck has always been solid. So
Those
and
are
I
the
think
best places, the mom
yeah,
and pop shops. Yeah.
and I think it's close to where you're staying. So definitely check it out. Well, listen, let's go around and give out game balls, hero balls, and each one of us gets one to give out. And I'm going to start with the lady of the show. This is Miss Buffalo Barbie Doll. Who are you giving your game ball today to?
I would say I'm going to give it to Greg Rousseau. He was
Okay.
all over in that backfield, getting after the quarterback, after Mason Rudolph, all day long. He is consistent. He's great at taking care of the run, setting the corner, and when he's rushing, he's getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, great pick there. Like I said, he had was it 6 quarterback hits today?
Hits, yeah.
Phenomenal. It feels like he had more than half a sack. It really does. That's how much he was just all over. So 6 quarterback hits is pretty fantastic. Good pick there. Trev, we'll go to you, our friend from Ireland. By the way, I'm very Irish, Trev. Last name Thornton is Irish. So, yeah, let's go. And you and I, you can see we're very pale. We probably burn like in 10 minutes when we're out in the sun. So, Trev,
The sun was glaring in on top of me all day, and I've been told that the face is already red. So it's part of being Irish. My game ball, I would. There's 2 guys for me that stood out. We spoke about them, Kahil Shakir and Keon Coleman. And I know Amari Cooper stood out as well and getting his touchdowns. But Keon Coleman is new. He's a rookie. I thought today he was brilliant. He was unfortunate that he stumbled when he was breaking through and he got caught. We don't know whether he would have made it or not. But I did think the pass from Josh Allen was a touchdown. So I'm going to give it to him. He was exceptional today.
excellent picks. We'll go to Super Duper Cooper. Who are you giving your game ball to?
Well, I'd love to just give it to my O line every single week, but I feel like I got to do a little bit different. But real quick, to Trev's pick with Coleman, our first 100-yard receiver this year, so that's a big deal, and it's his first of his career. So congratulations to him for that. But I'll probably have to just go with Ray Davis. I mean, another touchdown for him, 5 carries, 40 yards, just continuing the excellent play from last week when he had to step up when we needed him most, and another touchdown to seal the game off. So love seeing that young man succeed, and I'm looking forward to next week too.
So Chad says, I would love for all of us to go to a Bills Chiefs game at Arrowhead. We can get some good food. So I think I don't know how long ago it was. I almost put it out there. I wasn't allowed to say it yet, but yeah, our company is opening up a location in Kansas City. I was a little mad at them first. I'm like, seriously, why did you guys not talk to me? I mean, could we not have gone to another city? Now I'm going to have Chiefs fans that I have to work with on a daily basis. But you know what? Chad and Weston, you've made me feel a little bit better about that. So it might be an opportunity. I don't know. I'm going to do what I can to say, get it. I have to go out there. I'm the director of development, so got to get out there and check some things out from the development standpoint. So maybe I can get out there, Chad. I hope so.
Yeah, we got to plan that because based on what's going on again this year, we're both probably going to get first in the division again, so we'll be playing. So if we can all, that'd be cool because I love going to
would
home
be
games,
cool.
but it might be. I never been to an away game, for football. For baseball, I went to other stadiums, but I never been to another football stadium before. So it might be cool to go to Kansas City, see the friends, get some of that skyline. Is that where the skyline chili is?
No, that's Cincy. You're thinking
Cincy.
Gates. I think it's Gates Barbecue out there
Oh
in
yeah,
KC.
the Brandon Bean barbecue, the
Yes.
infamous Brandon Bean barbecue. Yeah, I gotta experience that too.
Oh yeah.
Now I had Texas barbecue, and I never had Kansas City barbecue, but my friends from Texas say this is the best in the world. So I would love to be, you know, see which one's the better one.
Weston has some thoughts on that. He's he loves his barbecue. He's been all over to see it. So you gave your game ball to, who was it again?
Ray Davis.
Ray Davis. Trek Reviewer says my game ball goes to Cooper for playing with very little practice and Bean for getting Cooper. Love that pick. He kind of stole one of ours, I'm sure. But let me throw it to Jake. Your game ball, sir.
Yeah, he did steal mine, so I'm gonna go a different direction. But I do got to give the washed Amari Cooper his due respect because, and I'm not saying he's washed. Some other people that we know, Tony, Chris, Rick, saying he's washed. Guy's unbelievable. Look what he did for the offense. Opened up passing lanes for everyone to eat, and I love it. So absolutely, he should get a game ball. Guy is humble as they come. Just shakes people's hands, hands the ball to the ref, gets back to business. I think a lot of people misunderstand Amari Cooper. They felt like maybe he didn't want to be here because he didn't really show any emotion. That's just who he is. He's all business, and he'll smile after the game like he did in his press conference, but he's a quiet individual. That's how he's always gone about his business throughout his entire career going back to college. So I think Nick Saban said he didn't even have a conversation with him until like year 3 at Alabama. So there you go. But yeah, shout out to Tyler Bass. How about that? 2 for 2 on field goals and hit all of his extra points, and he looked confident. And you know what I love? The crowd was into it. And Trev, how was that when he made his first extra point and field goal?
Like there was, even in the tailgate, there was questions like, was he the kicker?
Yeah.
And would he deliver? And I watched him pre-game because before the teams came out, he was out kicking balls into the top goal, and he was putting them. It was against the wind. They were going straight down the middle. Now, I know there was no pressure on him at that time, but it still gives you an inclination whether he's going to play well or not. And once he kicked that first kick, that was it. He was in the zone. And fair, like, he's got a lot of criticism, and he probably might get more down the line. Is my only concern is not his kicking; it's just his mental state. He was brilliant today. Today, though, was a regular season game, and when it comes down to the big games in the playoffs, is his mental state good enough for it? Because I seen it once here, well, at home. I won't name the name player, but there was a Mayo goalkeeper, and the Mayo goalkeeper was brilliant for Mayo during the regular season in Gaelic football. But when we would get to Croke Park and get to big semi-finals and final, this Mayo goalkeeper would make costly mistakes and has cost us All-Ireland titles, which would be Super Bowls here. But the last time I seen him play, he was mentally broke. So he was told, kick the ball out the wings, and every kick out went out the centre. It wasn't, we were getting better at that stage, but it wasn't that he wasn't able to kick the ball. It was just the day got to him, it broke him. Mm-hmm. And it was a pressurized game. It was a big game. It wouldn't happen if it was an ordinary league game or something like that. And that's my concern for Tyler Bass, is that when it comes to a playoff game and it's the last kick of the game, is he strong enough mentally to do it? Because unfortunately last year he wasn't.
Right.
I think the competition for him this week allowed him to focus, and his job was on the line, at least on this game, if he did not beat out the other kicker. And so I think just focusing on making field goals instead of just knowing that he had the position and needed to do better, the competition focused him.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
want to
it's a
talk
great
about
point.
there's a lot of pressure there, right? And they even I think it was on the broadcast, or they said where they had a kickoff during the week, right? There was some competition
Yeah.
with Bass and the kicker that they brought in,
Mhm.
and Bass won that competition. So here he is. He knows the heat is on, and I can't imagine just how there's already pressure on every kick, and now you add that. But he came through. By the way, if you have not watched the Four Falls of Buffalo on Netflix, check it out. If you, I mean,
No,
is
thank you.
everyone on here? I'm still in the middle of it.
Oh
It's
man.
fantastic. And if you want to go see somebody who was really affected by a missed kick, Scott Nord, that guy,
Oh,
years after it happened, they're talking to him on the Four Falls of Buffalo. He's still so emotional for many reasons. He feels very, very bad about not getting Buffalo a Super Bowl. But the Bills Mafia, the fans, after they lost the first one, they were shouting his name. They wanted him to come to the podium and speak, and it was a very emotional thing. So check that out. And then even the second year, where he was almost perfect. I don't know if he made every kick that second year. He didn't miss anything, I think.
mhm.
And they again were shouting for him to come on. He came on. Unfortunately, they moved on from him. I think things just started to go bad for him, and Steve Christie
Yeah.
became a Buffalo Bill.
Mm.
But watch it, Four Falls of Buffalo. It's on Netflix. Fantastic. And
I'm not
for
gonna
my
lie,
game,
Mike.
yeah,
Oh,
what's
sorry,
that?
go ahead.
I
I
was
was
gonna,
saying, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
I was lucky enough not to experience the 4 losses straight.
yeah.
So I don't think I'm ever gonna watch something that's gonna make me sad about something I wasn't even alive
Dude,
for.
you
So
just you
I'll,
just gotta watch it for the history, my friend. You just for the
uh,
history.
I
Oh
can't.
yeah.
Um,
Too sad.
and so my game ball could easily go to Cam Lewis. I mean, I could give a game ball to Cam Lewis every game. He made a huge tackle. He
Yes.
had 2 tackles, big tackle to stop them from getting a first down. But this is rare. I'm usually not able, by the time it comes around to me, nobody's said Josh Allen. So there you go. I'm taking the freebie. Josh Allen, how could you not? Turns around in the second half, was in so much control. And that's the Josh Allen we love to see. So Josh Allen for me. We got Chad coming in. Here we go with another super chat. Woo, I love it. For Trev, forgive
Amazing.
me if you have to repeat the story, but how did you become a Bills fan? Glad you had a great time and hope you can go to more. Want to tell that story, Trev?
Right. So when I got into American football, right, was about 4 years ago, and the first team I chose to follow was the Cleveland Browns. And the reason I chose to follow them, basically, there's not a lot of difference between Buffalo and Cleveland, but I like the orange helmets. And I was for that year. Baker Mayfield was the quarterback. He had brought them to the playoffs the season before. He was injured that year. They treated him like muck, basically. They played him injured. He was awful, and he had to have shoulder surgery at the end of the season. So that was grand. It wasn't about. It's never about winning or losing. It's about being part of something, and it was my first year in it. And next thing, they decided to sign Deshaun Watson. So I'm going to say no more. Just in the story, that was me done, and leave it at that on that part. So I was to pick a team, and it happened to be the same year as the 13-second game.
Oh,
And I will be honest, I watched that game. I watched the quarterback for the team I love right now and will love is the Buffalo Bills, and that's Josh Allen. And I watched his leadership on the sideline, his drive, his want to win, and did everything. And it was just bad luck, if nothing else, that they did not win that game. But that wasn't the result. Didn't make it for me. It was that man on the sideline, and that's why I became a Buffalo Bill.
I love
That's
that.
a great reason, baby.
And like I had Bills Mafia friends beforehand as well. In my Twitter feed, I have friends from every team. I just like the crack and the banter and to talk to people and stuff like that. But the Bills Mafia, and I've seen it here this weekend. The people, they're like Mayo people at home. They will follow their team into hell if they have to. Whatever
We
the
will.
result, they will, and that's all you can ask. That's all you can want. And I'm just delighted to be part of it and honoured and lucky.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I saw 4.
Man, I don't know how you guys did it. Goodness. Therapy. I mean, you had a. I don't know what you do. Like that's, gosh, 4 Super
well,
Bowls.
Watch it again. Watch the Four Falls again. Gotta watch it, guys. You have to. Jake, you've seen
Stop
it.
trying to get us to
I've
watch,
seen it.
Yeah,
Sadness,
Jake's watched
Mike.
it. Trev, you need to watch it if you haven't already.
I can make you feel better, okay? So the Buffalo Bills have lost 4 Super Bowls, and I have seen the program, and I do feel for the kicker. But my county, Mayo, since 1989, has played in 11 All Ireland finals and have lost 11 All Ireland finals, and most of them they've lost by a point or 2, and have gone to
my
replay.
goodness.
So 4 is not bad compared to 11. And we're still looking, and we're still shouting, and we're still going. And one of the things I took from that program was, in the media's eyes, the outside of Buffalo, they look at Buffalo as a failure for the 4 Super Bowls, right? Not getting there, not winning them. I'm a Mayo man, and I'm proud of being from Mayo, and I've seen them lose 11 times in Croke Park on All Ireland final day, and I am proud of them. As if they won it, because it's the journey they got to get there and the enjoyment we had. And it will be the same for the Buffalo fans following their team through hard games, tough games, memorable moments. It's the journey. It's not about the end. The end is a ring or a middle. That's all it is. But it's the journey to get there is what's the important thing.
That's right.
So Weston, we've been talking about getting you on a long time. He says he has a good story about the 13-second game. And look at this, Pittsburgh 37-15. And the New York Jets, don't look now, they're going to be 2-5. 2-5. I don't think Anthony can hit his number now. I mean, he was saying what the floor was. Oh, maybe. I think the floor was 12 wins, 12-5. So they got to run the board. You never know, but man, I can't. New York media is going to be all over this. They just get Devontae Adams. I mean, let me look at his final numbers here. What did he do?
3 targets, 9 targets, 3 catches,
only
30
get
yards.
him 3 catches in this game.
Woo-hoo.
Wow, they threw 9. They threw 9 targets his way. What?
Mike, you forgot the biggest thing. All they
What?
needed was middle of the pack quarterback play, and they would be Super Bowl contenders. Now they got Aaron Rodgers, they got Garrett Wilson, they got Brees Hall, they got Devontae Adams, and they're 2-5. Zach Wilson was 3-2 last year.
Wow.
Wait, I want to say,
That's crazy.
Yes.
I said at the beginning of the year, I was not sold on the Jets. I didn't think they were going to be all that good.
Amen.
That's what I'm saying.
I love that, Jess. I love it. Yes.
Anthony said he couldn't see 4 losses on his on the schedule. Now they already have 5, so I don't know.
I mean, this is a beatdown. 37-15.
Oh, I love
against
it.
a Russell Wilson led Steelers team.
A
Russ played
5-2.
good. Actually, Russ had a good game tonight.
Yeah. A 5-2 Steeler team, Jake. You know, I mean, they're one of the best coach teams. They have a great, solid defense. I mean, he hasn't had he's never had a losing season, Mike Tomlin. So watch out for these Steelers. Watch out for
409 total yards for the Steelers.
Holy
cow.
Well, technically, the Jets could still win out and finish 12-5, but you know, you have a better chance of having lunch with God tomorrow.
Maybe the Jets will trade back for Zach Wilson again.
That would be something.
Well, listen, we're going to call it a night here. It was fun with all of you, and I'm still trying to get used to that green hat. We should have some shamrocks and some leprechauns on there, and then I wouldn't think, how did the Jet band get in here? But love it. It's an Irish Bills hat, and I do think they need some, like I said, leprechauns, shamrocks, pots of gold. That hat should just be lit up with all kinds of fun stuff. Trev, I hope you get to meet up with Jake tomorrow. I hope you have to get to have some of the best wings in town. Jake believes, I believe Jake's paid. He's marketing for them, but Bar Bill is well known for the wings. Many people say it. I'm still old school. I like a few others a little bit better, but they're good. And they do have the best presentation, dude. They paint the sauce on the wing when they are served. You know how you go to places and they have their, some great photographer come and take the best picture, but when you get the food, looks nothing like the picture that you see up there. Well, that's not the case at Barbell. You're gonna get what you see, and that it's incredible. They don't have the traditional sauces. They do, but they're not as good as like a 911. But they have their specialty sauces. But they cook the wing fantastic. And like I said, they don't dump the wings into a bowl and shake it all around and you get a lot of the extra sauce, it's just perfectly done. It's perfectly cooked. So I hope you get to meet up with Jake. He'll tell you the story about Barrel Bill and lots of good stories. And then I hope you have a very safe travel trip home. It's good to see you on the East Coast, and we'll talk again for sure, my friend.
100%. And thank you very much for having me on. And as I said, I know you guys for the last couple of years. It's a privilege to know you, and you're doing brilliant work, and keep it up all the time.
Appreciate that so much, Trev.
Likewise,
Buffalo Barbie, closing thoughts from you.
I'm looking forward to Yankees versus the Dodgers.
Please tell me you're pulling for
Dodgers
the
got the
Yankees.
dub, huh?
Please tell me you're pulling for the Yanks.
But I am pulling for the Yanks. I
All right,
always have.
yes, okay.
Thurman Munster is
Munson.
my favorite player.
Thurman
That's
Munson.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I still remember the day my friend came to my door and said Thurman died. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I think it was a plane crash.
Yes, plane
It was a plane
crash.
crash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
He was the
terrible.
heart and soul of that Yankees team.
Definitely.
And when he went, that team went.
Yes, for sure. Pat Sajak. I don't know if I can do him. I don't know. We'll see. I'll work on it, Chad. I'll work on it. Jake, closing thoughts from you, my friend.
No, thank God we got the win today, and I'm happy we did, especially because Trev was in attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, just great second half. Let's capitalize off it. We got Seattle. We're flying to the West Coast, so we better buckle up. Seattle just one day in a big fashion against Atlanta, so that's a high-powered offense.
Yeah.
So defense is going to be tested.
Definitely. I do know DK Metcalf went out with an injury.
Yeah,
today.
I saw
Not sure
that.
how serious that is. But we'll see. We'll find out during the week. Super duper Cooper. Your closing thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, it felt good. It's nice to be 5-2, but we got another road game coming up before we go back home. And please don't start slow. Please come out and play great football. Be the first person to throw a punch. Make it hard for them in their home stadium. That 12th man is hard to play against. So you want to be up. You want to, again, they can score at will. They got good, even though Geno Smith's not a great quarterback, he's good enough to have some good games once in a while. And they got a great running back. So if you're gonna screw around and not be able to stop the run, and they're just throwing to Lockett and JSN and Noah Fant and DK Metcalf, could be a long day if we're not scoring. So
Metcalf got
match
injured.
them but the coach said it's not that serious. So I don't know if he's just talking, but that's what they were saying in the post game. But yeah, even if he's playing, he's gonna be banged up. So I guess that's true. But still, play strong, play ahead, stay ahead, and be physical, and come home 6-2, and then we keep going 1 week at a time. And yeah, it's looking pretty good for us right now.
All right. Well, we are gonna. I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding us, Big Al.
I know we were close, Dad.
We're
Listen,
gonna spin
we get off
the wheel.
We get off track sometimes.
We
but
sure
yes,
do. Let me share my screen here, and then we'll put some names. I'll erase the names that are there right now. Let me see here. Let me present. Share screen, and let's see here. Entire screen. We're gonna go over here. Now we'll share. Bring it up. Let's go. All right, all five of us. Look at us, all five of us. Oh, we lost somebody. I think we lost Sean there, but. Got $3 off cards and wrap. Look at that. These browsers these days, they don't do a great job with these ads. Brave browser is very good, by the way. But let's go. Let's give some names. Actually, let me do that real quick. Let me bring up the Brave browser. It's much better. It has a built-in ad blocker. Let's go.
That's another that could be our next sponsor right there. Brave.
Oh, I see. Problem is though, they block so much they don't let things like
they don't let that.
Days. So we'll get rid of that. We'll go back to here. You'll have to put up with the ads for just a little bit. 1 million royalty-free images, Your Majesty. I mean, there you go, Adobe over there in the. But anyhow, let's go. Let's get some names in here. I saw Tom. Let's get Tom on the board. We got Chad the Chief. Got Chad. We got Weston. And who else we got in there? Trek Reviewer. Yep, we need Trek Reviewer in there.
RX Fly.
RX Fly Fishing. Let's go.
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams, isn't he like a very famous star from back in the day? I think. Maybe.
You know, it sounds familiar.
Yes.
Star Trek, or not Star Trek, Star Wars.
No,
yeah.
I'm not thinking so.
I just did a quick Google search. He was in The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And in Batman.
He was in other things too, but yeah. Who else did I miss? I'm going through. Looks like I got everyone here, I think.
Alan.
Who?
Alan.
Oh, Big Al. Well, so here's the deal, Jess.
Oh.
So Big Al,
Okay.
honestly, Big Al kind of hooked us up with this. So
Okay.
he had a conversation with my cousin, and he's like, hey, what can we do? We want to do like a giveaway with Nickel City Mafia. So shout out to my dad, because he's kind of the one who got this whole thing started. He's like, it'd be cool to do a giveaway of polos on the channel. Classier shirt. You know, you get people in the comments, bring more people in, yada, 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 right? So we've already had a few winners, and we like to do these giveaways after Buffalo Bills win. So shout out to my dad, Al Padre, Big Al. That's who we call him. And he does have his own already, actually. So, and he looks good in it. Black. Slimming.
All right. I know there's a way. We're going to just keep it simple tonight. I know there's a way to adjust the time that the wheel spins for, but I am going to have Trev give me a number between 1 and 10, sir.
7.
7. All right. We're going to shuffle this thing 7 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to spin the wheel. Give me a number, Jessica, between 1 and 5.
2.
All right, we're gonna count it down. 2, 1, spin the wheel. There we go.
Here we go.
Oh, look at Weston. Weston's saying, I want it. Weston.
All right, Weston.
Go, sir. Gets the big win.
Well
Let's
earned.
Go.
Yes.
Love it.
You'll have to drop me your address. Just send me a message on Discord or something, and we'll send it your way. And I need your size. We got everything from small through 3X. So let me know. And I think it does run a bit small, so I'd up it one size.
I love it. So now we'll definitely, and then we got to get Chad his, and then we'll do a show with those guys. Actually, so guys, we're obviously the obvious show to do with you is the week of the Kansas City game. So definitely. Look at your schedule and let us know that week when are good times for you. Normally we only do post games, but for that game, I want to get on during the week with you guys. So you let us know, Chad and Weston, when you're good. All right, we'll make time for you. One of us will be here, if not all of us, talking to you. So that's exciting. Good job again. Thanks, Big Al, for the reminder. And I think Weston, he doesn't know. I think he stepped away for a minute, so he doesn't know the good
He's gonna
news.
be so pumped.
We'll have to let him know in the Discord. All right, that kind of does it. Again, a lot of fun tonight, guys. Trev, I can't wait. I know you're gonna go do some shows when you get back for the Irish Bills Mafia. Can't wait to hear more details. Check out Trev's show. I'm gonna put the link. I forgot to put the link in the description. Check him out. Actually, he's one of our awesome channels. So all you got to do is go to our homepage, scroll down a little bit. You'll see awesome channels. Go smash that subscribe button. He's trying to build the fan base in Ireland. He's got some competition. I think this is the Steelers that have the edge right now out there. They have the bigger following. The Jaguars are trying to get, I mean, who knows? The Jaguars might move out there eventually based on how many times they play.
And the Jets are trying to get in.
Jets too?
They have part of the market.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We draw the line at the Jets, Trev. We don't even have a thread for them in our Discord. We do not allow it.
They're doing nothing. The Steelers had a watch party a few weeks ago. I went to it because there's guys that I connect with in Ireland that I like to support, and it's to get the game of football in Ireland at some stage. So I was looking at like maybe 25, 26, the Steelers will have a home game in Croke Park in Ireland. So they're doing all the work. The Jaguars are concentrating mainly on England. They do a small bit in Ireland. And the Jets came in this year and they're doing nothing. So it's an awful pity the Bills wouldn't go in. Like, you have Josh Allen, you have the whole lot, and they'd grow awful quick because American football has grown huge in Ireland. But the Jets got in, but thankfully they're doing nothing.
All right. Well, help Trev spread the
right.
word. Smash his, like I said, smash that subscribe button. Go check out his content. It's fantastic, and you're going to hear more stories about his visit to Buffalo. And and again, I'm interested in hearing the story tomorrow. Like, are you meeting up with Jake? Hope that happens, and I want to hear how that goes. And then check out the Beef on WEC. Everyone, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Go Bills.
Go Bills.